welcome back to the hidden logic for the massive grand finale of our Week 11 investigation today. Over the past 3 episodes, we have exposed the supermarket monopolies, the sugar cartels, and toxic chemical agriculture. We proved exactly how massive global corporations completely hijacked the natural biological food supply for endless financial profit. But today, we must expose the ultimate endgame of the massive global elite operating in the shadows globally. We are looking at the terrifying immediate future of human nutrition and absolute global population control today. You must deeply understand a very famous historical quote from the influential American political strategist Henry Kissinger. He famously stated that if you control the global food supply, you completely control the entire human population. This is not a crazy conspiracy theory. It is the publicly stated geopolitical strategy of the global elite to execute this massive plan. They are quietly, fundamentally restructuring how the entire human species acquires daily calories. Let us look at a terrifying real estate trend happening right now. Across the Western world, completely silently, some of the most famous and wealthy technology billionaires are quietly purchasing massive amounts of independent agricultural farmland. They are using anonymous corporate shell companies to buy hundreds of thousands of acres of highly fertile earth. The mainstream media claims these billionaires are simply making smart, long-term financial investments to diversify their portfolios. But the hidden logic reveals a much darker and deeply disturbing corporate agenda behind this massive land grab. If a few unelected technological oligarchs control the physical earth, they completely control what is allowed to grow. They are actively consolidating the means of human survival into the hands of a tiny corporate digital elite. While they buy the farmland, traditional independent farmers are being aggressively attacked and systematically destroyed by their governments. Look at the massive agricultural protests happening across Europe, where generational farmers are fighting for their absolute survival. Governments are passing draconian environmental regulations that specifically target independent farmers while completely ignoring massive corporate industrial polluters. They use the noble concept of environmental protection as a convenient political weapon to destroy natural independent agriculture. They want to force the independent farmers into absolute bankruptcy so massive corporations can buy the remaining land. Once the natural traditional food supply is completely destroyed, the elite will introduce their patented synthetic technological alternatives. We are witnessing the aggressive global rollout of highly processed laboratory-grown meat and synthetic biological food substitutes. The media aggressively promotes this synthetic laboratory food as the ultimate magical solution to global environmental climate change, but they intentionally hide exactly how this disgusting artificial corporate meat is actually manufactured in these secretive laboratories. Synthetic meat is grown in massive industrial steel vats using genetically modified biological material and immortalized cell lines. In the medical world, immortalized cell lines are essentially biological cancer cells that replicate continuously without ever dying. You are literally being conditioned to eat highly processed biological tumors manufactured by massive technology corporations for profit. Furthermore, this artificial laboratory food is entirely dependent on the exact same chemical agriculture systems we discussed previously. It requires massive amounts of genetically modified soy and highly toxic chemical inputs to feed the artificial cells. And this brings us to a critical moment in our deep investigation where I desperately need your direct perspective. Let us pause right now, because I must know exactly how you feel about this massive biological transition. Go down to the comments right now and answer this very specific and highly controversial moral question today. Will you ever willingly feed your children synthetic meat grown from genetically modified immortal cells in a corporate laboratory? Drop your detailed answer in the comments below right now so we can expose the real modern threats together. Your insight is absolutely crucial, because the psychological conditioning for this massive transition is happening everywhere, right? Now, you have certainly seen the massive corporate media articles telling the public they must start eating insect protein. They tell you that eating roasted crickets and synthetic bug paste is the only way to save the planet. But the global elite, flying on massive private jets, will never eat synthetic bug paste or laboratory cancer meat. They will continue to eat the finest organic natural beef grown on the massive private farmland they just purchased. The synthetic food agenda is entirely designed for the working class to completely degrade their human biological dignity. It is a massive psychological operation designed to make you accept a completely unnatural and subservient biological existence. But the absolute darkest aspect of this synthetic food agenda is how it connects to the global financial system we previously investigated. The terrifying rise of central bank digital currencies and the coming system of programmable digital money. The global elite want to connect your mandatory digital ID and your programmable digital wallet to your carbon footprint. If you attempt to purchase natural traditional meat, your digital wallet will automatically decline the financial transaction entirely. The algorithm will determine that you have exceeded your personal carbon allowance and force you to buy synthetic bugs. This is the ultimate realization of the total corporate control grid operating through the global food matrix today. Your ability to physically survive will depend entirely on your absolute obedience to the digital corporate state apparatus. If you attend an unapproved political protest, they will simply turn off your ability to buy physical calories. This is why the control of the independent global food supply is the absolute most important battle for humanity. We must aggressively support local independent farmers who are fighting against these massive globalist environmental corporate regulations today. We must completely reject the normalization of synthetic laboratory food and refuse to consume their highly processed chemical alternatives. We must demand absolute transparency regarding exactly who owns the massive agricultural farmland in our independent sovereign nations. You have a profound moral duty to share this urgent, alternative perspective with everyone who cares about their freedom. Share this video immediately on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and every other social platform where your community actively gathers. We must break the powerful and dangerous illusion of the synthetic food agenda and completely expose the digital control grid. This massive revelation concludes our intense Week 11 investigation into the dark architecture of the global food matrix. We have exposed the supermarket monopolies, the sugar cartels, the toxic agriculture, and the synthetic digital food agenda. Completely next week, we will begin week 12, and we will explore the terrifying reality of the global medical matrix. We will expose how the massive pharmaceutical industry intentionally keeps the population sick to maximize their global corporate profit. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and never stop questioning the artificial corporate narratives surrounding your health. The synthetic food agenda relies entirely on your continued public ignorance. So stay awake, stay vigilant, and keep tracking the hidden logic.